Hello everybody and welcome to another episode ng Makina Riders. Special po itong episode ngayon dahil it's going to be a first time po natin mag-feature ng isang sikat na basketballista. PBA level ang pinag-uusapan po natin dito. And now, just to backtrack a bit, I am a frustrated professional Actually, di nga ako naabot sa whole professional thing eh. But in terms of basketball, lumaki po tayong basketball. Talagang you breathe, live, and eat basketball. Yan ang kinalakihan ko. As in, maghapon, basketball training, liga, and all of that. So you can imagine my excitement na ang guest natin ay player. So just to backtrack, alam nyo, wala akong kilalang basketball fan na hindi kilala ang Ginebra. We're talking about that whole heritage, that whole era. Jaworski, Arnaiz, and all of that. And one of the staple, or isa sa mga poste ng Ginebra is this guy named Romy Mamaril. Mamaril! Tugudugdug! Mamaril! So, that whole team was just awesome. Pag Barangay Ginebra na, yung mga fans talagang sobrang todo-todo sila doon. Anyway, the reason why I'm mentioning Romy Mamaril is because yung guest po natin ay yung anak na. Now, just a little backtrack here. When we were growing up, syempre, di ba, players come and go. Babalitaan namin na yung sino mga bagong players. Tapos, isang kaibigan ko sabi, Zach, pare, si Mamaril may anak. Naglalaro, mas matindi pa dun sa tatay. Times 10. And I'm like, talaga? Can't wait to see him play. True enough, he goes pro and he's here. I'm talking about Billy Mamaril, of course. Now, if you're wondering, how did I hook up with Billy Mamaril for Makina Riders? It was completely by accident. So, kung naalala nyo, yung guest natin kailan sa Makina Lady Riders of the World, sa Mall Rotwa, si Paulette, the supermodel, yung she's like this tall, like as tall as like a little tower. Fiancé niya pala, si Billy Mamaril. So, I'm like, kasama mo siya going to the interview? Sabi niya, oo. Sakto! Can I guest him as well for Makina Riders? So yun na nga, after Paulette's interview, si Billy naman yung na-interview natin. So Billy has his own story to tell. Of course, yung lineage niya, yung tatay nga niya, basketball player from Ginebra, no less. But Billy has his own story to tell. Meron na rin siyang sariling path na naukit para sa kanya. He is his own man. So, without further ado, eto po ang Makina Riders. Ang ating guest is Billy Mamaril. And of course, this is brought to us by Gulf Oils. We are all honored. We have our first player, PBA, and Billy, maraming salamat. I know you're very busy and nakakatuwa. Of course, we've been seeing you online with your group.
Yes.
Na nagmamotor. Normally, in Makina Riders, we jump into motorcycles right away. But because you're special, I mean, there are a lot of questions. I'm a big basketball fan. I grew up, of course, watching your dad. I always wondered, my first question for you, syempre, lumalaki ka na. Tapos nakikita mo daddy mode. Kasi sometimes kids of parents, pag sanay na sila nagbabasketball yung tatay o musikero or what, ayaw na nila gawin. They want to do their own thing. How about you? How was it like growing up and there's such a rich, basketball heritage in your family?
Well, I could speak for a majority of us here, the viewer, na we grew up in the best era, in the 80s era. So, talaga nun, Ginebra lahat. And walang internet, walang text. Basketball lang talaga.
Parang
natin nun. And actually, my parents, my mom and my dad, they didn't actually push me to be basketball. They kind of distanced me away from it,
Ah, talaga?
So, I think it worked in the opposite way kasi mas hinanap ko yung basketball, mas gusto ko mag-basketball kasi they don't encourage me. Hindi naman pinagbabawalan, pero not like parents now na talaga, yung parents now are talagang, mag-basketball, di ba? Lahat sinasalihan.
Correct.
Pero before with me, I wasn't encouraged to do it. Pero ako yung naghahanap, so...
Parang baka ni-reverse psychology ka nila.
Baka.
Sa amin lang para mag-basketball
kasi,
ka paglaki.
dati pag Sabado talaga, like 6 o'clock, nasa labas na ako, naglalaro na ako. As in, whole day na yun.
You spent some time in the US, correct?
Yes, I went to the States, 10 years old ako.
Yung start ng basket, dito pa lang Pinas or doon na, saka talaga namulat na gustong-gusto mo na to gawin?
I always tell people that as far as I can remember, that's what I wanted to do.
Of course, your last name.
Yeah.
My goodness, di ba? So, did you feel pressure? I mean, syempre, dating ng daddy mo, di ba? I mean, were you challenged? I mean, how was it like naman with that?
Not challenged, pero nung 80s kasi talagang basketball player talaga, di ba? And, it's for the love of the game also, as younger kids. We didn't do something for whatever monetary reasons because we love doing it. And,
Passion talaga.
Yeah.
You wanted to play.
Kahit tayo, di naman tayo masyado. Dami-dami tayong ginagastos sa motor, pero nagmumotor tayo, di ba? Talagang passion talaga. And then, thankfully, there was an avenue na I could also get paid, doing what I love, which was basketball.
That's the best.
Yeah. I guess it's synonymous now with my dad, Mamaril, talagang Ginebra. Ginebra, never say die tayo. And, I was born in it, so...
Yeah. Anong point na nasabi mo na, uy, magaling na ako sa daddy ko. May ganun ba yun?
This is what I can say, iba kasi yung era ni Papa, iba yung era ko. I could say I'm better than my dad, okay? I'm better than my dad.
I think we see that naman the next generation.
But, yung may mga X factor sila kasi yung 80s talagang you have to have more heart than anything else. So, I think, yung advantage ni Papa. And also, even though I feel that I'm better than my dad, I could honestly say mas popular yung Papa ko kaysa sa akin.
80s kasi walang distractions Ang daming distractions ngayon Kaya that's why even musicians have a hard time getting a hit now because there's just so many things going on online. But nevertheless, I think seeing you play and what you've done the past few years, you paved your own way naman. You found your own spot na rin naman na it's Billy, di ba? Okay, now we can jump into motorcycles.
Alright.
We got those questions out of the way. Meron ka bang nakikita mga similarities with motorcycling and basketball?
Of course, with anything we love naman, we connect them somehow Playing basketball in the PBA, I was known as a defensive player. So talagang defense, guarding and shot blocking. As a rider, I'm a defensive rider.
That's good.
So I try to anticipate my surroundings, which is also relatable to basketball. You anticipate your opponent. That's one similarity.
When did you start with motorcycles? How did you get into motorcycles?
Well, I started with motorcycle. Siyempre, we were fascinated with it. Lalo tayong mga lalaki, fascinated. Tricycle pa lang, di ba? I could really remember. Siguro, first time I got here, mga 2001, my tito had a dirt bike.
Meron na. Meron ka ng love way back to 2001 pa.
Meron na, pero I didn't have time for it. I tell Paulette this all the time that when I first rode a big bike, first gear ako. So, down ako, down. So, go, boom. And then, second gear na. Down pa din ako. Dapat sira yata to, sira. Kasi yung tricycle, di ba, down, sila naka-cycle.
Correct. All down sila.
That's my first meet with the big bike. But then, when I started dating my wife, that's when I started getting into the bigger bike. And I already got into it and studied more. And, mag-practice ako sa village. I called myself a village rider for a few months kasi
practice muna.
Practice ako sa village. So
I think that's the great thing about having an athlete ride a motorcycle kasi yung discipline na in-approach nyo in sports, there's a lot of discipline involved. You understand the value of practice at hindi basta-basta banat ng banat, diba? Especially, nga pala, you're 6'6".
Yes.
I'm 6 feet and lahat ng bike sa akin nagmumukha akong nakasakay ng malaking aso.
Yeah.
How is that naman for you? Did you have a hard time? Conscious ka ba sa kailangan bagay sa size mo and all of that?
In a way, yes. Pero, if you love something, it doesn't matter kung malaki yan o maliit sa sasakyan mo, di ba? Kung comfortable ka naman, there's some bikes, syempre, lahat naman tayo, whether you're big or small. If you're not comfortable with the bike, you're not gonna like it. Like for me, I like this bike from this Italian company, di ba? Itong red bike. Pero may groove yung tangke niya, tumatama talaga sa legs ko. Okay. I couldn't get under it. As much as I love the bike, I couldn't, I couldn't.
Naghanap ko ng comfort talaga dapat sa'yo.
And then, of course, before I like the H2, I love the H2. I like watching it. Fastest bike in the production right now. But then when I got on it, like, di pwede.
Okay. That's a very important insight na comfortable kasi syempre buhay nakataya sa atin dyan It's only 2 wheels.
Yep.
In terms of rides, where have you been already? I mean, nakaikot ka na ba when you felt comfortable na okay, sugod na tayo? Especially with your moto group sa PBA.
Yeah. I'm pretty relaxed lang naman when we ride, when I ride. I'm not really into the malayuan. Gusto ko, Tagaytay lang, Subic lang. As in, morning ride lang ako. That's my thrill na. I guess that counts with the territory na, I haven't had that much experience riding. So, natutuwa na ako sa malapitan. Eventually, yung iba kasi daw, gusto na yung mga Baguio balikan.
Okay.
So, sumasakit na likod ko
Sa future ba, meron kang pinapangarap with you and your wife na doon kayo pupunta eventually?
Oh yeah, we're planning a Northern Luzon trip. So, Manila, tapos La Union, Baguio, Ilocos, Lawag, Tuguegarao, Aurora. Pero yung talagang plan ko talaga, West Coast, Pacific Coast, California to Vancouver.
That's the best.
Yes.
Although pagdating ng mga hating gabi doon, nakakatakot ng bibilis na ng mga kotse doon pag nagmo-motor din Semplang, any semplang moments na na-experience mo?
Thankfully, nothing like that because I'm really a defensive rider and pag walang ride, I practice, figure 8 ako. nabaksak ko yung bike once in a while, pero controlled environment talaga. And
okay.
even though everyone says it's gonna happen, we'll try to minimize how bad it's gonna be. Sana mga baksak-baksak lang and nothing.
Iba talaga
major.
pag athlete I appreciate that about you guys. The discipline is there even when you get into a ride. Any advice for fellow riders that's your size as well, that problema natin to pag medyo malaki tayo tapos naghanap ng motor? What's your advice in general for our fellow riders?
Well, in general, for all the riders out there, ride safely and defensively, and always take into account your group also, not just you. Kasi minsan there's groups na talaga nag-iiwanan eh. So just be mindful of your group also, not just yourself, and just be safe.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Maraming salamat.
All right. So I just want to say hi to everyone. Never said that. DBA fans, my fans, thank you for supporting me all throughout my career, and even now when I see you guys around and you say hi, I appreciate it, and you're amazing.
Thanks so much, Billy. Ride safe.
Thank you.
Yes, ingat, ride safe. Thank you so much.
Magpakasaya mamayang gabi, makalimot lang ng ilang sandali, magbihis ka na, sunduin kita, 10:30 magdamag ang lakad hanggang umaga. Oras na